Ladies and gentlemen, traders, what's up? What's up? Good morning and welcome back. Welcome back to another live session. As usual, if you're tuning in on YouTube, be sure to check out the disclaimer. Remember that day trading is risky business. Day trading is risky. Do not trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. If you're now tuning into the channel for the first time, and you're behind on your mortgage or your rent and you're looking to make some change to help you out, this is not the field. In fact, this is the worst field to try to do that. You're very likely to lose, so do not risk it. Do not risk it. Remember to always utilize a simulator and or small size if you're new until you build competence and experience. Other than that, remember my results are not typical and I do not invest for my subscribers. So be careful of fake Relentless trader accounts on all platforms. I will never message you first. And lastly, be careful now of also fake advertisements. People are stealing the Team House content, stealing my very own content, and are using it to run fake ads. So be very careful on YouTube and on Meta platforms as well. Be very careful. All right, with the very long disclaimer there out the way, now we can finally look at the scanners. So you guys remember the tragedy of yesterday, right? Where I was flat on the day, not connecting, and then the stock rips up 50 cents, and I went for it like a madman with size and got murdered very promptly, down 1K. That was stock. Was it CWD? I can't remember the name, sadly, man. My memory here with the names or the ticker symbols is pretty bad. So yesterday ended up not being a great day because we didn't manage risk through and through to the very end. You know, not connecting on the stock, sometimes it can happen, but to then say, hey, we're going to take it slow and size down because we haven't done well, and then literally the next 2 minutes size up in an area with higher risk, is not worth it. It doesn't make any sense to do. And we have to make sure as we're moving forward here on a day-by-day basis that we eliminate such weaknesses from ourselves and from our trading. You know, it was $1,000 mistake. The other stock came along that was halted up after, and it happened to be choppy, and we lost 400 there. So it ended up being a red day of like 1,500. And the losses on the other stock, thought they were completely fine. Although we should have still also made sure to not mess up with more size than we wanted. But nevertheless, you know, it should have been a smaller red day than what it was. Today we have two stocks in YHC and IMG. IMG and YHC are the top two today. So I think I'll look at YHC first. We'll pull it up here on Thinkorswim. We also got the gap scanner on the left-hand side of the screen. So for anyone tuning in, you guys can feel free to check out the gap scan. I know not everyone uses one or have one. There's some gap scanners on YouTube. There's this one here, Day3 Dash. In the past, I used Momo Pro. There's a bunch of different ones. But yeah, you guys can feel free to check out the gap scan here. Take a look at what's up, what's moving up. So yeah, YHC. Pre-market high, clocking in at 212. I'm gonna use E-Trade here to take a look at the daily chart. So we're curling up today, and as of recent, going back to July, we had it's actually a pretty nice push. You know, from 190s all the way to 1144. Yeah, this name does sound familiar, and there was 49 million shares of volume on this day. So this is pretty good. It's gapped up and sold off before though, so it definitely lets us know that this is a stock that could move, but we still have to be careful. And will today be a day, where we can get up maybe to 250 or $3, I think would be a good target. Last candle where we had some action, high point of 293. Can we get over 250 and potentially over $3 on this stock here? I think could be a good target. PALI. Let me just take a quick look at this one. PALI now hitting the scans. Maybe there could be something here. Maybe. Let's see. Guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. This channel is pretty tragic in some ways. The like button is definitely one of the major ones. We usually get around 600 people. If we start the stream early, maybe we might get a couple extra people sometimes. But, to only get 100 likes, man, it's quite what word should I use here? Disappointing. I think the community here, we can do better, man. Relentless Traders, the last man standing here, still going live every day to the world with no fear in his heart, right? As we know, trading is already difficult. Trading in front of hundreds of people could be even more difficult, right? But the pastor shows up here every day. It would be nice to see like 400 or 500 likes, right? But anyhows, moving on. I'm going to add this one to the watch list just in case it ends up being good. Small rant right there. As we're begging for spare change and the likes. YHC, IMG, and perhaps PALI. And PALI is a familiar sounding name as well. The history is repeating itself here. Sometimes through the same exact stocks that came weeks and months ago. Where is the mighty? The mighty is sound asleep, perhaps. Cactus Rob, it seems that you have missed the disclaimer, my friend. You gotta rewind the video. We're 2 for 2 here today. 2 for 2, brother. So, and YouTube is also terrible policy in terms of how they manage their back end. They're very aware of what's going on, and it seems like they're doing nothing. So, we have to fall back on the people for helping us reporting those fake ads. Okay, so IHC, we mentioned that, perhaps we can go to 3, and hopefully it does. There isn't much resistance up to that level of 3. This is a stock that's moved up to $11 before, just last month. And so we're hoping we can see something strong. Doesn't have to be to 11. I mean, if we get to 11, that would be fantastic. But, even if we get to $3 here, that would be sensational. So moving on to IMG. And the chat room has been saying that these are liquor companies, which is quite interesting. IMG up 166%, 200 plus million shares of volume. Pre-market highs 54.68. It's been stair stepping up, which is good. It's been a nice uptrend, slow and steady. Not bad. And sub $1 has been fairly hot, I'd say, the last few weeks. This might end up being the stock of the day here. Maybe. I don't know. Can't guarantee that, but it looks pretty bullish here. And perhaps we can keep going. 60, 65, 75. IMG on the daily chart now. Let's take a look. Actually, I can come back here. Just enlarge this. So the 200 EMA around 73 cents. But up until then, no major resistance level. I mean, if we do swing the chart over, though, you'll see a couple of topping wicks going back. You know, days where we had higher volume. January 8th of this year. November of last year, we pushed up nicely, but then it didn't really hold. It sold off the next day, or continued lower. But we've had some green candles that held up, which is good. So not bad there. Again, you know, the history repeating itself. The same stock went from 41 to 350 back in October of last year. So again, you know, the name pretty familiar. And even before that, in July of last year, you know, 101 to highs of $8 over the course of a couple days. So it's definitely given big moves before. So I'm going to mark out 73 cents. Just in case we come up there, and if there is resistance, I'll want to like liquidate my positions and hold off on getting back in until we push through. Yeah, it looks decent. YHC, are we still holding up? YHC, we're still holding up. And then lastly, PALI, I'll take another look at here. Let me check out the stream here. Yeah, I'm gonna be here till I'm 90 years old, right? I probably retire from streaming when I'm like 90. I think that'll be the sweet ripe age. You know, I get a lot of visions about my trading, and we're gonna be here for a very long time. We're gonna be here for a very, very, very long time. 150. Maybe I should take some trades on it right now. PALI. Moving up. Today we just gotta be, I think we just have to be careful, and we can't let ourselves be our biggest, you know, hindrance, our biggest enemy. Trading is already tricky. We gotta make sure to not do ourselves a disservice and lose our discipline and or break the rules. Because every time you follow the rules soundly, it's like a miracle. You just have a good day every time, you know? Can't be coincidence at this point. Maybe I'll watch YHC into the open. We have another 4 minutes to go. So as mentioned just now, it's a day to be even more disciplined than yesterday. It's a day to be even more patient. You know, we want to make sure that we start small and look to connect, get in rhythm, and only from that point on does it make sense for me to use size. can't in the moment see something good and just try to rush to big size right away. That's not going to work. Not good enough. You got to do all the correct things, all the necessary things to ensure success. And so patience, patience, patience. No need to rush the rush. No need to rush the rush. H1 Media, what's up? What's up? Yeah, we'll definitely look forward to a good day here as long as the momentum looks nice. YHC, PALI, and the other one is IMG. Those are the three stocks here that I'm looking at today. Don Juan is in the building. Perry, what's up? Hope you guys are doing well, feeling good. Tommy Gunn, what's going on? Feed, what's up? Brad, what's going on? Good to see you. The fresh NBA guy and Leo are also in the building. Looking to dial in. Looking to dial in. OG. Okay, so there's a minute 37 seconds. A minute 37 seconds to the opening bell. For those of you in the chat room, what's up? Hope you guys are feeling good, doing well. We also got Triad in the building today. Okay. 1 minute 15 seconds, and we're feeling pretty good. Looking forward to having a disciplined day here. I'll watch PALI into the open. Did I add this to the alert section? Let me double check. Okay, we did. 160 for highs. Will we respect this range into the open, or will we see a new range? Got the blue light glasses ready. And it's time to dial in. Time to lock in. Just feeling it out with some really small size here so far. Looks like YHC is selling off a bit. It's a good push over 55 right there. Good push. Oh, wow. It's really moving. We got 65. Fair pullback so far. Time looks good. We've gotten ourselves on the scoreboard here. The stock has been fairly good here so far. High of days at 80. Oh, I got the wrong screen on here back, by the way. Let me see if I can minimize that quickly. There we go. Have the E-Trade screen there in the back. I gotta try and hit it with a little bit more size. Bit of a false breakout there. And back up. Are we going to be able to hold this new high? So far, so good. We've had a nice breakout. We've had a nice consolidation before that. And 80 was a good level. We'll see if it's able to hold. It's coming down a bit. I consider that a false breakout. You know, we made a new high over 80 or back down. Perhaps it could be backside if we don't hold here. It's a pretty big dip. It's almost a bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing rather. IMG, of course, pushing up. Pull it on screen when I can. Yeah, this other one is finished. Bit short-lived, but okay. Oh, the highs were 59. Okay. Time. We're still seeing some sellers. Nice. Wow. Our order got rejected there, it seems. Oh, one of my hotkeys are messed up. And I was in there yesterday. I might have messed something up. I gotta double check. I tried to go along, but I think the hotkey is not configured properly. I'm gonna try the other one, although it is more size though. That's the only thing. Wasn't looking to take size just yet. Can the 1 minute candle make the new high eventually? Oh, it's holding. That was too aggressive of a sell. It looks like it might have bottomed out. Looks like it might have bottomed out a little bit. A lot of selling pressure. Come on. Hold the line. Hold the line. I'm watching at the lows right here and looking to hold for 65. Can we hold the line? There's 61. Time. We got a new candlestick. There's 61.5, 62. I think I'm going to aim for the breakout trade. It could be worth it if it comes pretty good. And the volume spike came and went like yesterday's news. Okay. It's back down to the lows, perhaps. We're getting like a, descending kind of a move here. How's the other one doing? Was it YHC? Oh, this one is not doing good. PALI. PALI also sold off. And IMG coming down. BRLT. BRLT looking interesting here. Switching over. Highs are 36. Haven't really been able to connect on anything yet. So just managing risk, keeping it tight. Making new lows. This one isn't really holding up. So I think sidelines could be good for now until we see something. Until we see something holding up and uptrending. Lows right there are 2. Can we get back over the VWAP at least? If it's gonna curl. Pretty sharp pullback, 245. Down to 2. Don't forget, as you're watching on YouTube, to hit that thumbs up. We've had 2 stocks uptrend today, but they're both like selling off after a couple minutes. Could it make a new high? It's possible. We got a high of 43 right there. Bit of a double top. 45 high of day. Will we need to pull back again, or can it go right through? Honestly, I'd rather it just go because chart could look a little messed up if it doesn't. All depends though. Saying 58 new highs. I think the pullback is healthy, but we need to hold. Where did I get the fill? I hope I got a good fill. Damn. Time. We got about 2 minutes. I don't know why I just E-trade thing still. Time. I think the key here is to make sure it's not selling off. Because the pullback is a pretty low pullback. Our 5-minute chart is a little messy here. I didn't add back, but it does seem to be holding up a little bit. 59 for highs, 59. Think I gotta throw out a few more trades. Probably been a little too passive on this one. What's happening to me on this one, I'm not getting a lot of opportunities to add as I'm starting with a starter on a lot of the dips. So if my starter is at the exact bottom of the dip, then the stock is already up and I'm not able to add. You know, a lot of the times you come down and but you know that extra dip is coming. And I'm not seeing the extra dip. We definitely want to see this thing over. If possible, we want to see it over 57, 58. We're in like a flat consolidation. VWAP is at 33. We've had lows all the way down to 2. Can't blink, man. It's a quick pop right there. These trades here are, of course, really high. Looking at the breakout. False breakout. Can we curl back up? Still haven't put out any size yet on the day. Haven't really felt good in that great rhythm. We've had some missed trades though for sure. Areas where maybe we could have been in if we're a little quicker or a little bit more aggressive. Again, everything that comes seems like more of like a quicker move and then back down rather than something that's sustaining itself and holding for like a longer period of time. We've had like 3 or 4 big red candles in this one too. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Remember the disclaimers as well. Remember that day trading is risky. Remember that most traders are losing. Damn, did I have the scan on the whole time? Holy shit. Damn, bro. That's crazy. Forgot. Pastor slacking. Anyhow, don't forget that day trading is risky. Remember that most traders lose, so do not use money that you cannot afford to lose. Bit of a tongue twister there. Copy trading does not work. Remember, my results are not typical, and I do not invest for my subscribers. Be careful of fake accounts. Be careful of fake accounts. Also, remember to be careful of fake ads as well. People are stealing the content and are using it to run ads, sadly, on Meta and on YouTube, on Google. So be very careful. And also, if you spot a fake ad, help us in reporting these ads. We've emailed YouTube so many times, and all they're telling us is that the best we can do is just report the ads as we see them on a case by case basis, which sucks because you would think they would be able to get rid of it very quickly on their back end. So our watch list stocks PALI at all-time lows here on the day. We also had IMG, which is still fighting. IMG still fighting. And then we had, I believe it was, what was the other one? Was it BRLT? No, that one just came up. PALI, IMG. I'm forgetting what the third one was. YHC. Yeah, YHC also sold off. Not looking like much. Not looking like much. I don't know. I think it's a slower day here so far. Some quicker action. If you're not able to catch those quicker trades early, then it's like a slower, you know, slower morning. You know, trades like this, for example, this massive move right here. If you don't catch a trade like that, you know, there's nothing after these 3 minutes or these 2 minutes of candlesticks. Let's include the dip here. So besides this, it's like depths. So BRTL, I got caught. We could have done better on it, but we got caught buying the dip at 215 off of the highs of two. We had 260, and I bought at 215, and the dip ended up going down all the way. Was it 259? No, 245 high. The dip ended up going down to $2. I bought at 215. You know, a couple cents too high. What happened too is that I added too aggressively there because I had a quick indication that we were holding. So I'm like, okay, here we go. I buy, and then it's like down a couple more cents, making a new low. So I'm like, okay, I gotta cut the trade here. So maybe I was a little too aggressive to add, but again, that quick indication came, so I think it was worth it. So we got caught on a, I mean, we didn't lose a lot of cents, but we got caught still on the way down. And then because the dip was so big, I'm like looking to ease off and wait on the sidelines a little bit. So we're not really catching the bottom there. We're trying at 220, and 220 is a little slow to break out. So we're in at 20, out at like 26, 25. IMG also pulling back here again. I'd say it's a bit of a slower day, all things considered. There's been some action, but short-lived. YHC, not even giving anything. This one was backside pre-market. PALI, small move up, and then Titanic. Short sellers winning on this one. I'm down 200 bucks. So we did a good job keeping it much tighter than we did yesterday in terms of like seeing something really good, sizing up way too aggressively. But it's been slow. Plus some fees too. Not really seeing a ton on the scans. For those of you watching on YouTube, don't forget to check out the chat room. That's where it goes down before the live stream, during the live stream, and after the live stream. We'll have traders in there till 5 p.m. most days. I can post the link in here. Also, beast mode, if you're listening in, you can check your DMs. Beast mode. I'll post the link here. Man, Raphael, where's Raphael? He's been gone for an eternity. I wonder how my niece Sophia is doing. Your 2-week trial, if you were giving access to the 2-week trial, you should have had access for 2 full weeks. The 2-week trial period is over though. We're gonna probably do it again at some point. But we had a lot of people actually check it out. CMCT. Pre-market highs are 1020. I'm gonna throw out a starter here. Kind of taking a shot from the hip. Really small size though. Okay. Watching. I got small size, really small size. Will it hold up or will we Christmas tree? Oh, Christmas tree. What will it be? There's 34 on the ask. Can we see 40, 45, 50, 55? Highs are at 70. There's 45. There's 60. The baby starter is going to work. And baby starter. Oh, not what I wanted. The candlestick is about to close, which is worth mentioning. It's also a little spready. The volume is lighter here. Definitely a little bit more risk on a stock like this. Okay, I'll stay away from this one. That was a good setup, but no follow through. Off the VWAP. Until it gains more volume, I'll be on the sidelines. Nothing else really looking great on the scans. We went from 98 to 32. My ad was pretty quick, but I mean the stock was flying, so I got in a little higher, but it's back down. Not seeing anything in the scans, not seeing anything getting called out in the chat. Let's see. The beast mode is back. There we go. Beast mode, bro. From the start, I was already thinking about doing that. Yes, sir. It's so slow that I'm checking out the YouTube comments here. BRLT. Still below the VWAP, but you know, I guess this is something. It's a bit of a bounce. Don't forget if you're watching on YouTube to hit that thumbs up. We do appreciate it. So I took a $200 loss in that other stock just now, so that's gonna double my losses here, actually. Now down 400, and on the sidelines, maybe BRLT comes alive here. Just maybe it comes alive. Our new candle started there, and not really much buying. VWAP, perhaps gonna be big resistance. I mean, I have really small size. It really depends. Honestly, just a couple hundred shares for like a starter. We've got some decent trades, but I realize this is just gonna be part of how I'm trading. You take the starter, and typically, I'm taking it small because, the pullback will sometimes have a bit of a range, a zone, let's say. So I'll take the pullback at the high side of the zone with smaller size, but if it keeps flushing down, I'll try to buy more. Sometimes, I mean, it depends on the price of the stock and all that, but sometimes support can be a 10, 15 cent range, or sometimes like a 30, 40 cent range, depending on the stock. But sometimes I'm in with that starter where I think it's the high side of the support, but the stock is back up. So I don't get to add any real size. Part of the deal. We got a couple people in the chat room leaving out already. Honestly, I might do the same if we don't see anything else here soon. Yeah, I think I'll give it another 15 minutes maybe to see if something hits the scans for the live stream. Historically, the first hour after the open has been the hottest, and then the momentum usually gradually slows down. Not to say that something cannot come, but usually it's a little slower. Last year, though, we'd get a lot of opportunities till 11:30, and then 12, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and sometimes it'll pick back up for 3 p.m. into the close for the power hour. This year, we haven't really been seeing much momentum through and through. And also, right now, pre-market is a little on the slower side. Triad called it out, man. It's like when I started looking at it, it's like it just was getting a little slower every day. It was so hot back then too, and then now it's just like dead. But it'll come around again. I'm hoping today is like a slower day because we've been seeing good momentum for the first hour here the last like 2 weeks. So hoping today is just like a slower day. And tomorrow we can see something uptrending and holding up its levels again. KAVL, cheaper stock, pushed up a little bit. Ay, ay, ay. BRLT back at 217. Will we be able to get over the VWAP? Massive bear flag here. Massive. Will we be able to see a move pushing up? Yeah, so not much. Thinking maybe this is where I call it. Thinking maybe this is where I call it. Maybe I'll stick around a little later, but see, this is what yesterday should have looked like, right? A much, much tighter day, like not making any mistakes, size up like crazy. That nonsense to ruin a nice day. The worst case is to keep it tight. I mean, it's pretty, honestly, like just trading, it's so easy, right? It's so easy, but yet we can make it so difficult if we slip up, lose the focus, lose the discipline. I think everybody knows, especially if you've been trading for some time, like you know exactly what you need to do in every situation. But sticking to that discipline is the key. Not changing the plan midway, improvising out of nowhere. It's like if we know we should be stopping out at the lows of support. Let's say we think support is between 5 and 510. What am I still doing holding the stock at 480? You know, it's like these simple things that we can make mistakes on. And if we're making too many mistakes, you know, it'll definitely show in the trading, right? At the end of the day, it'll show. But if we keep the discipline to cut it the moment it hits down to 99, 98, no, not a second later, keeping it tight, respecting the rules towards using size. It's like every day can be, a very, very, very successful day. Every red day will be tight and every green day will be massive when the momentum is right, right? Every day where it's smooth and we're doing our job, we'll be connecting like crazy. I think this will do it. If you're watching on YouTube, I think tomorrow again at 9:15 a.m. H1, man. I'd say, I mean, we had some action. We had some action, but the action was short-lived. We had PALI for the first 4 minutes. PALI. So yeah, we had one really solid candle here at 9:31, a pullback candle, and then I'd say this last candle here was also decent. So about 3 minutes of action, and then it's been 2 hours of this, or an hour, let's say 1 hour of this right here. Short seller's dream. It's like if we look at this stock in the inverse, you can, on Thinkorswim, you can put that minus sign. You put the minus sign, and this is what we would have wanted to see going long. Like if this was the stock right now, right? You put this minus sign and it shows you the inverse. If this was the stock today, okay, bit of a slower start, and then we get to VWAP for the red to green. It moves up nicely, pull back, moves up, a bit of a flat top right here. We would have wanted to see a stronger breakout in this area, but nevertheless, it pushed up a little bit, held up the previous highs as which would have been support at that point, right? The previous resistance becoming support, made a new high, and it's trending sideways now, hopefully to gain more volume to go higher. Instead, we literally had the opposite of this, right? Like on the hotter days, this chart is looking even better than this going up. If we're to go back to a few days ago, last week, a couple days of last week, we had some smoother action. Not 2 minutes of momentum and then stock is down for an hour. That's the difference. Similar to IMG, we had a massive candlestick here. If you're not looking at this stock at this time, you already missed this trade. Now you got to come in and try to capture the consolidation as best as you can to catch this move right here. And then let's say you do catch this move after that. This has been what we've had since then. So two minutes of action for then now 40 minutes of nothing. I mean, did people make money here? I mean, you have to be really accurate to capture these dips nicely. But in terms of like an uptrending move that's holding up itself, this has been, if anything, downtrending here. All right, this has been like downtrending. So it's been downtrending, if anything. YHC, the other watchlist stock. This one didn't stand a chance. After a good move pre-market, that was all this one wrote. Christmas tree. Good old Christmas tree. You got your little bit of a tree trunk, and then you got your Christmas tree going up here. You got your nice little star up top, and then Christmas tree comes back down. Titanic. We can get a little creative and literally draw the Titanic here too. Right? Ship is sinking, brother. Ship is going down. Down to the depths. You got to put a few windows on there too. The craziest one is that person who drew a dragon over the chart, or was it a, like Godzilla, I think, right? This looks more like a submarine though. Yeah, art class was not my thing here. But this is now at the bottom. In fact, the water, you got to put the water like this, right? You got to use a whole different color. Put the water. This thing is already halfway down, going to the bottom of the sea. VWAP may be the last area there to hold us up. Now we're sinking. As a short seller though, where would I have went short is what I'm thinking here. Because in the moment, I'm pretty sure this looked like a good pullback. Unless we had like breaking news that came out. You know, stock was strong, stair stepping up. And this looked like another pullback that would then curl back up eventually. So I'm like thinking, where could I have went short? But it's tough to say. Maybe at the lows of the consolidation. Maybe. Or maybe at the high point of this one with a tight stop. Maybe short like right here. It's hard to say. Some stocks give you a very obvious top. Others, it's hard to tell if it's the backside or not. Even in fact, if I was looking at this, I could see myself, you know, watching this area here for a dip and getting caught somewhere in here. And this is the actual bottom. If it was like knifing down, I could have easily gotten caught. You got to keep the stops as tight as possible. If not, you can be adding and then still holding this, hoping it curls back up. And now maybe your average is like, you know, 150 in massive size, but the stock is down here 120. Wait, it's just too risky to do that, you know? Risky business. But yeah, I think this is a good place to shut it down. And I do apologize today. I forgot I had the E-Trade screen on. So when I came back to Thinkorswim, it wasn't showing the bottom area here. I kind of messed up a little on that, but tomorrow got to remember to minimize it. That way the log can show a little bit better. Also, my camera, I keep making it a little smaller. It keeps coming back. I don't know why. Yeah, but anyhow, that'll do it for today. We're at $400 plus some fees. Not really the best day here, but kept it tight though, which was good. It's like today just, you know, it just feels so much better than yesterday because of that nonsense. But anyhow, I'll catch you guys tomorrow around 9:15 a.m. If pre-market is hot, I'll stream in pre-market, but right now it'll be like similar, right? Where there's 5 minutes of action over 2-3 hours, and it's just me just sitting there doing nothing really, looking at stocks, waiting for something to hit the scans and like nothing coming. But yeah, take care, stay safe, stay green. Pastor is signing out. Catch you guys later.